Alright, we're gonna re-enter into game one. Reset due to a bit of technical issues from the leaders. A disconnect from Thunder will cause that game one to be overruled, and we will go back in. True game one, same comps. Umbreon, Ceruledge, Charizard coming out from the challengers, and we will be seeing Gardevoir, Zacian, and Mimikyu come out from the leaders. Hopefully we're going to see a lot more value coming out from this Gardevoir and this Zacian. Ideally, the Zacian is going to be getting so much more value in this match, considering that it will hopefully not be disconnecting. Knock on wood. Fans, of course, being on this Tyranitar and this Gengar that Senju really, really likes to play a lot, but the Ceruledge coming out, and from that last game, it looks to be very, very solid, but it seems like the Mimikyu is actually going to be jungling in favor of the Gardevoir on the side of the... Mimikyu is going to be going into the lane in favor of the Gardevoir going into the jungle from the side of the leaders, as Mimikyu seems to be picking up all of its Bunnelbees. Bit scary there. I think Starfraud might have been able to pick up a knockout onto one of those lane Bunnelbees. But yeah, this Zacian almost gets the knockout onto the Umbreon. Knowing how it's gonna play. Mimikyu seems to not be running attack weight right now, as we see Ceruledge already entering onto this bottom path. Against this Mimikyu. Mimikyu almost goes down. The Gardevoir will come out, deterring that Ceruledge from Senju from pursuing the Mimikyu any further. Seems like Ceruledge is going to try to get a dive onto the Gardevoir. Gardevoir will be able to eject away. Stunning. Mimikyu is so low, almost goes down. The Ceruledge is so low, and it will go down to Gardevoir. Charizard, however, is able to get up its stacks. That's not really what you want to see, as Mimikyu seems to be going into the jungle now. Metal Claw coming out from the Zacian once again. As we just see it try to steal as much farm as possible from this Umbreon, denying as many stacks as possible. As many of those crucial attack weight stacks in order to scale that Wish so much harder than it already can. Charizard is able to get up that level 7. And Ceruledge just farming stacks onto this bottom path. Seems like they're going to be going for a triple gank onto this top path, onto this Charizard, onto this Umbreon that I forgot the name of. As we just calm down. We're going to be going, might go for a bit of an assassin onto this Umbreon, but it will not be able to. The bees go down immediately. As Mimikyu seems like it's just going to pivot back into its jungle, as Ceruledge is continuing to farm its stacks, and will probably be able to take out this basement Reggie. Zacian on this top path. The Regice will go down to that Ceruledge on the basement. But Charizard goes down. Mimikyu and this Metal Claw coming out from the Zacian is actually doing so much, but Ceruledge ult does all of its health. But the stun's coming out and Ceruledge goes down. enough damage was done by that Gengar and that Zacian and the Mimikyu in order to deal with that Ceruledge as much as possible. Play Rough comes out. We'll be able to get the farm, but we'll go down in the process. Level 9, it actually seems to be... Levels are exactly equal right now. Maybe a tiny bit of an advantage. The ult comes out. Charizard immediately goes down after its ult. Seems like a bit of a waste there. This Gardevoir will deter the Ceruledge, as Zacian seems to just try to want to tank as much as possible. Gardevoir and Zacian taking out that Ceruledge from Senju. These bans really working in favor of the leaders right now. This Ceruledge isn't getting nearly as much value as the Tyranitar or the Gengar normally do from Senju. Rina hiding in this bush on the Gardevoir. Zacian will also hide. Jumping out. Ceruledge going for an ult. Will go down to the Gardevoir. Goes for a dive. It's just not worth it, though. There's so much damage from this Fairy Gym. The Umbreon ult will come out just to stay alive for a bit longer, as they will just start immediately ripping this Regirock. Their defense is now increased. This is not a fight that the challengers would really want to take here, especially with the level disadvantage. It's very slight, but it's going to be very noticeable when their Umbreon isn't dealing nearly as much damage as this Zacian or this Mimikyu. The Ceruledge ult does not do nearly as much damage as you think it is, as Zacian ends up going down and the ult comes out from the Charizard. As all of the leaders go down, I say any level advantage, and then it's just all of the level advantage is completely gone. Charizard hits this level 12, Umbreon hits the level 10, as all of the Fairy Gym leaders are level 11. As we re-enter neutral state, the mid-Bs are taken by the challengers. Zacian on this top path alone, as it seems like they're going to try to go for this Regieleki. Level 12 coming out from both of the challengers. Mean Look comes out from the Umbreon. The ult comes out. The Ceruledge will go down. That's all of the damage gone on this top path. This Umbreon really needs Charizard to be up here. The ult comes out, going into the Charizard. The Umbreon ult will keep the Charizard alive, but the Regieleki will go down. The ult, the stun comes out from Rina on the Gardevoir. As they just lose all of their damage, this Umbreon not being able to close the distance, not being able to Mean Look that Gardevoir, and even if they did, it might not even have mattered. That Regieleki's taken care of on the top path. Zacian tempted to go for a dunk here. The stun comes out from Rina trying to get away on this Gardevoir. The Zacian, it will go down to this Ceruledge, as this Ceruledge is in a great position in order to try and dive onto this Gardevoir. Will decide against it in favor of going for this Regirock. Will be able to secure that second basement Regi. This is a sizable lead for the challengers right now, but it's the experience lead is actually arguably in favor of the leaders. Because that level 12 on the Umbreon is just, it's not doing nearly as much damage as the level 12 on the Zacian. As we see both teams completely hiding in a bush. Rina will go. No engagements yet. Ceruledge trying to go for a flank around onto this Gardevoir. As Cerulege will find a way in. Alt exclusively hits the Gardevoir. Gardevoir almost going to go down. Zacian goes down. Mimikyu's already down. Gardevoir trying to stay alive. All three alts immediately going into this, immediately being used. Perfect synergy, as this first game seems like it's just immediately going to go in the way of the challengers. But right after this disconnect, that's exactly what you want to see from these leaders. Making that first game. The ult will not go out from that Zacian, interestingly. I don't completely understand what happened there. Zacian ult gets cancelled. And that is game one going to be going in the way of the challengers. That's exactly what you have. That's exactly what you want to see, especially after that disconnect, where the Fairy Gym was able to make this game incredibly close, with the Zacian actually being able to scale. And that is game one. 503 to 80, but a very close game coming down to that wire on the Ray fight. But the ult usage from the challengers was just incredible in that final team fight, as Rina able to pick up 9 knockouts on this Gardevoir. No? Okay. Alright, entering game 2, we soar, immediately locking in this Zacian as we see Thunder hovering over this Blaziken pick, and that's the Terra. They're going to be terastallizing into this. They're going to be terastallizing into the Blaziken here. As we see questions coming out from the chat about this Blaziken pick here. Let them cook. That's all I have to say. As we will be seeing, once again, this Gardevoir entering the jungle, Zacian going into the top path, and this Blaziken, new Terra, into this bottom path. As we see Torchic able to do something, we'll be trying to secure this, and it will actually be able to secure the final Bunnelby. Potentially not the greatest idea to go for the final 2 Bunnelbys there, though. But Zacian still completely wreaking havoc onto this Umbreon in the top path, trying to stall it from getting its stacks as much as possible, as Blaziken proceeds to pull 1 Bunnelby and get another stack against this Cerulege that is going to be very, very close. My headphone fell out. As the Blaziken ends up going down, Rina keeping her distance, trying to deal as much damage as possible, and Cerulege just standing in it, just proceeding to get hit by all of the hits of that Psyshock, and going down there. Potentially not the greatest decision from the Cerulege on coming out from Senju there, but that's a choice. Cerulege able to pick up that final lane Bunnelby. as Umbreon trying to hit its level 4, as the Sacred Sword from the Zacian now comes out. And Ceruledge goes for a dive onto the Sacred Sword comes out and does a considerable amount of damage. It's not doing that bad. Umbreon goes down. The mean look comes out from the Umbreon. I do not think it's gonna be foul play after that mean look. As Reina almost goes down to that Ceruledge on Senju, as the Flare Blitz Fire Punch almost takes it down. It will not. Ceruledge just trying to take out this, as instead of Ceruledge doing it, Charizard will. Blaziken in this jungle as the Zacian comes down. We'll try to pop a Sacred Sword, boosted by the Aeos energy, but Zacian will go down to the ult as Ceruledge goes down to the Blaziken, and Zacian's actually very close to going down, but Charizard will be able to clean it up, and will be able to overdunk by roughly 20 there. This Charizard is a kind of large. It's not exactly what you want to see. Sacred Sword from this Zacian proving to be quite effective, but when your Charizard's level 10, there's not a lot you can do here. The Sacred Sword Zacian finally comes out. The ult goes into the Ceruledge and will be able to secure that Rayquaza. As the ults come out, every ult has been used. Ceruledge at 1 HP. I can't really go in for this, but the Wish coming out from the Umbreon brings it back up to half. And that's going to be another... And there goes the Gardevoir. This Charizard getting this big this early on is so big! And there goes the Zacian. There's nothing they can do! Blaziken not nearly doing as much as the Metal Claw Zacian was, as Blaziken goes down. Zacian decides to run away at the 3 people on the bottom path. As we re-enter neutral, challengers get the middle. Challengers will be trying to get all the Bs they can, as Charizard might try to go for a dive onto this Gardevoir. Level 12, a massive level advantage for the leaders right now. A level 12 Charizard that has been proving to be so effective in this game right now. The ult goes in onto the Blaziken. Nothing will come of it, though. And this game seems to just be spiraling out of control for the leaders. As Ceruledge will be able to dive onto this Zacian as the Zacian goes down to the Ceruledge. Mean Look goes in onto that Registeel as the Ceruledge secures. This Gardevoir alone on the top path, though, it might go... It's looking very scary, as we've seen this Charizard take it out so many times. As the Ceruledge ult comes out, will not be able to secure the Regieleki, but it does so much damage onto the entire rest of the team that the Ceruledge might be able to pick up the knockout onto this Gardevoir, and it will after the Mean Look from the Umbreon. Umbreon a bit low here, but it's not going to matter against the Regieleki, as Blaziken pick up the jungling duties. Blaziken proving to not be getting nearly as much value as the leaders wanted to here. As Umbreon is not able to secure that buff, as it is secured by Rina instead. As the Blaziken is there, we'll be able to get a tiny bit of chip onto that Umbreon. Will not matter, as we will return to neutral once again. Is that a check it out ping onto the Blaziken? As we see all three challengers coming to this bottom path. As Rina might be able to dunk a 50, will choose not to. And we'll go for the 50 now into the 2-minute mark. As that bottom Reggie is not going to be able to get clicked. As Blaziken might go down here, the ult comes out. Sacred Sword from Zacian does so much damage, the ult goes down. But so does Gardevoir. Will be able to get the ult off barely, but it's not going to matter. Sacred Sword comes out trying to make as much space as possible, trying to... Hopefully we'll be able to get the ult off, but nothing's going to happen because of it. And this seems to be another win for the challengers, unless this Blaziken is able to get in, but it's not going to be able to. This Rayquaza is secured by the Ceruledge, and that's going to be a surrender from the Fairy Gym. And that is game 2 done. 2-0 to the challengers, proving that Senju does not need to be playing Gengar or Tyranitar in order to win.